Hey guys, K420 back at it again. Only took me an hour to figure out why the hell my screen wouldn't record. Not sure, but I'm done updating this iMac. Every time I update it, it just like totally screws me over for the next 2 days. All right, let's get to work here because this should have been out yesterday, and I apologize for it not being out yesterday. Oh, I didn't even get to have my last. All right, you guys, this isn't PG, so put the kitties away because it's 420 somewhere. You know where you came. All right, let's rock and roll. First and foremost, YouTube is a suppressive machine. If you'd like to support my channel, hit me up on Cash App at this right here. Here's my Cash App. Please support my channel. This is not free. I spent like 3 hours just getting this ready. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about the release. Ooh. Now listen, guys, this isn't it. This is just half of it. You know I have it. You know I've been reading and highlighting for you. So Monday is the other half of the release. And Maxwell's lawyer has already been denied. So he tried to stop it, of course, and he was denied. In a way, as a citizen, not thinking of her as anything else, just as a citizen and knowing the how easy it is to take the jury pool, I think it's kind of screwed up because she's being charged with perjury regarding this civil case, and they're releasing her deposition to the public. Yes, it is still quite redacted. They're releasing her deposition to the public while she's being a trial is being set up for her perjury in that very case. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I'd be fighting it too. If it was my lawyer, I would want them to fight for me as well. Let's move on. Okay, so we're gonna talk really quick about this little part that they put in here. I already got. Oh, yeah, you can explore the full document on this one. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but let's talk about the tidbits that they've picked out of here. Federal judge has unsealed hundreds of pages of deposition transcripts and other documents in a now settled defamation suit brought against Ghislane Maxwell, who is accused of helping the late Jeffrey Epstein run a sex trafficking operation that catered to rich and powerful men. 47 documents include a deposition given by Epstein accuser Virginia Roberts Giuffre, the draft of a memoir she was writing about her experiences inside the sex trafficking ring, and previously unseen email exchanges between Maxwell and Epstein. So, all right. Maxwell's, we're not going to get into all the other crap. We're just going to talk about tidbits in this, and then I'm going to go deep into it. So just bear with me, okay? This is going to be a remarkably awesome video. If you want the deep dirt, stay with me. So I'm not just going to be reading stuff. I actually have I have the case up here. I've been highlighting the heck out of it. I got the juice. Is that what they call it? No, I got the juicy stuff. Okay. So an excerpt of Giuffre's deposition in 2016. In an excerpt of Giuffre's deposition in May 2016, she said Maxwell and Epstein ordered her to have sex with men by telling her to give them a massage. We're going to get into that in a minute. They really played off this because when I tell you that this victim is way more famous of a victim, she actually plays a huge part in how do I say it? In proving that Donald Trump didn't go along with Jeffrey Epstein's bullshit, because I'm going to prove to you by the end of this, she was the worker at Mar-a-Lago who worked there, who was hit on, and her father, who also worked there, reported it to Trump, and therefore Epstein was banned from the premises. when she ended up quitting Mar-a-Lago and working full-time for Epstein, her father still worked for Trump in Mar-a-Lago and told him everything. My 15-year-old daughter is now living with this scumbag. And so anyway, Trump banned him. The same victim that's outing all this stuff also is clearing Donald Trump, and not in more than one way. She's come right out and said she's never seen him with any of the girls. So, Maxwell's ex-girlfriend Epstein's ex-girlfriend was charged earlier this month on several counts related to sex trafficking of minors and perjury. She has pleaded not guilty in that case, and Giuffre brought the 2015 defamation suit after British socialite accused her of lying. Yeah, someone else did that recently. I think his name was Alan Dershowitz, but somewhere in here he kind of is insinuated that he is part of this. He got him a little num-nums too. So, and when they say massage, they mean erotic, Giuffre said, adding later. That's their code word. Erotic massage. Happy ending. Yeah. At one point, the attorney questioning Giuffre ran down a list of prominent men with whom she was told to have sex. Other than Glenn Dubin, Stephen Kaufman, Prince Andrew, Jean-Luc Brunel, who owns he owns a modeling company that provides models to Victoria's Secrets, Bill Richardson, who was a senator, I believe, in Arizona or New Mexico, another prince who they haven't named the name yet, the large hotel chain owner, and it is not Trump. It's another one, and we know his famous daughter, if you want to know who that is. His famous daughter had a reality show. And scientist from Harvard, Marvin Minsky. Is there anyone else that Ghislane directed you to have sex with? I am definitely sure there is, Giuffre replied, but I can't remember everyone's name, no. A similar list of names appeared last year in court documents unsealed in the federal case against Epstein and conspiracy charges. Many of those men denied the allegations against them. When NPR contacted Richardson, the former New Mexico governor, last year, a spokesman said the charges are completely false. In that same deposition, she went on to say she had sex with former Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell, and that she first had sex with famous attorney Alan Dershowitz at Epstein's residence in New York. Of course, both men have denied even meeting Giuffre. Okay, listen. I have really dug into this case, and when I say really dug in, hang on. Oops. Okay. These are all, hang on. These are all of the court documents that I printed out. See, hang on, you can see I hate that. You can see all my notes along the sides. All that. Okay, so I've read this stuff. When I tell you I've read this. And when I say that this girl literally can go through every step of this man's operation and what part Ghislane paid, because she was really their first sex slave. He got her an apartment right in Palm Beach, beautiful apartment at 16 years old, right out of Mar-a-Lago. She quit her job and all that, and she had been molested twice already, so she basically had no trust in men, and she thought the only worth she had was with sex. So, hang on a second, sorry. All right, there we go. So Giuffre was really Ghislane and Jeffrey's first slave. And even though he had sex with Amy and Mary Farmer and all that years before, Giuffre was the first one that they convinced to stay. And they sold her a story about how they were going to pay for her schooling. They were going to send her to massage school to be a real massage therapist, which is what she did at Mar-a-Lago. That's where she liked that type of work. She wanted to make that kind of money at a spa doing normal massages. They used that, and they found all of the things out about her sexual abuse, and they found her weakness, and they used it against her, and she had no family, and basically this became her life. It says, the records also include an email exchange in which Epstein protests his innocence, appears to provide Maxwell with a statement to the media and a set of talking points that she might use in defending herself. Maxwell had been the target of outright lies, innuendo, slander, defamation, and salacious gossip and harassment, the email said. Excuse me. And it says, using language that pushed back against false allegations and impropriety and offensive behavior that I abhor and have never been a party to. A few days later, responding to the email, Epstein wrote, "You have done nothing wrong, and I would urge you to start acting like it." He urged her to go outside with her head high, not as an escaped convict. Go to parties and deal with it. Can you imagine being her, knowing that the walls are coming down, and all because you let him convince you to go procure 14-year-old girls to keep his sexual appetite that you couldn't give him you couldn't provide him that happiness because you were 48 years old. Could you imagine being her when he said, just go to a party and deal with it? I would have just lost my shit. So, a few days later, okay, mind you, this is very important because in her bail hearing recently, she pronounced the top of her lungs, "I have not had any contact whatsoever with Jeffrey Epstein in over a decade." This email was from 2015. Obviously, they were still corresponding. Obviously. Presco ordered the document, that's the judge, ordered documents and sealed last week, and Maxwell's attorney, Laura Menninger, made a last-minute appeal, but it could say it could damage her defense. But let's see. It's already been out pretty much, you know what I mean? So anyway, we're going to move on to the next one. This is important. Here we go. So, I did them backwards. We're going to go this one first. Okay, so very quickly, I want you to understand, I want to give credit where credit's due. If you don't know who Mike Cernovich is, or if you do and you're a liberal and you want to get off my thing right now, that's fine. But Cernovich is a lawyer in real life as well as a troll on the YouTube. But he's a damn good lawyer. And he's the one that's gotten all of these Epstein stuff, along with the Miami Herald's Judy Brown. All of these Epstein documents have been released, and all of this has been exposed on account of his hard work and money, as well as the Miami Herald. So hat tip to Mike Cernovich. Former President Bill Clinton was seen with 2 women on Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island, according to Virginia Roberts. That is in here. It shows the hurtful interview here. When you say you asked him, "Why is Bill Clinton here?" This is the lawyer. Roberts said, or where was here? Virginia Roberts, Ghislane, said, "On the island." Lawyer, when you were present with Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton on the island, who was there? Roberts, Ghislane, Emmy, and 2 young girls that I could identify. I never really knew them well anyways. It was just 2 girls from New York. And you were all staying at Jeffrey's house on the island, including Bill Clinton? Roberts, this is her name before she got married, guys. It's still the same girl I was just talking about, Ghislane, Virginia Roberts Ghislane. Anyway, she answered, "That's correct. He had 4 or 5 villas on his island, separate from the main house, and we all stayed in the villas." The lawyer, were sexual orgies a regular occurrence at the island of Jeffrey's house? Roberts, yes. And here's the actual court document, and here's the actual document where it implicates Bill Clinton that I just read to you. That was in bold. Right here is the actual document if you're interested in seeing it with your own eyes. Now, we're going to go back one. I want to take you to the part that I was telling you about a few minutes ago. Excuse me, got ashes all over the place. It's 4:20 somewhere. So, we're going to go to page 6. Oops, we went way past page 6, didn't we? What's this one? 4. There we go. And where is my copy? Here we go. All right. In news, and over the last 3.5 years, there's been many speculation that Trump is trying to cover this up, and he is the reason Epstein is dead, which is absolutely bullshit, not true. The person who has the least allegations against him is Donald Trump. There was an allegation. I'm not going to say here and lie to you. There's an allegation from a supposed 13-year-old that was at a party. My hand itches. Maybe I'll get some money from you guys. Um, there's an allegation that there was a 13-year-old at an Epstein party back in the 90s, and apparently right before the election, her car was stolen and a bunch of stuff happened. And while she was going through this whole lawsuit to expose him, she dropped her lawsuit and went into hiding. I can't verify that, but what I can verify is the statement that Trump had cut ties with Epstein because of what had happened with the spot. Hold on, with Mar-a-Lago. Total brain fart. So, hang on. Go down here. It might be 7. Let's see here. Okay. First of all, before I get to that part, it's not. It's on the next page. I want to start here so you guys hear this. Okay. Did there ever come a point where you became aware a photograph of you had been added to the collection? Okay. Yes, Ghislane took several nude photos of me for Jeffrey. So yeah, there were pictures of me and there were pictures. He wasn't shy. That wasn't the only place in the house that he kept the photos. He liked photos all over his house. If you look in his den or on his desk or in the hall table, a giant table in the house, there were at least 100 photos of girls in frames. Not all of them were naked. A lot of them were all around the house, were not naked girls posing pornographically. Some were pictures of celebrities and politicians he had known or things like that, or had pants on or whatever. Oh, surprise, pants on. But yeah, there were a lot of mixed photographs and the outside ones. Were there any photographs of girls or young women that you knew or that you subsequently came to know that you saw in the house? We're going to get, okay. Yes, there were. Oops. There was pictures of Nadia Bajornik Blank, pictures of Sarah Keller, pictures of Emmy, pictures of me, pictures of the regulars, but a lot of these girls sometimes Jeffrey could have like 7 girls a day, and he would only see those girls once if he got bored. I don't know. These weren't my days. I heard he's gotten a lot sloppier since I left. So I don't know anyways. But when I knew him, there was just, it seemed like there was an influx of girls coming in and out. So I did recognize a lot of them, maybe not. But then they were all definitely beautiful. They were all ranging in age. Some of them young, some of them older in their 20s. I mean, it was just, they were all beautiful. You've told us about your first visit. Was there any discussion on the occasion of that first visit about your returning? Yes, they were pleased with me, and after the encounter was finished, the sexual encounter, he went and told me I did well and I have a lot of potential to become a massage therapist. Here's what I was telling you about. And if I'd like, I could return tomorrow, and do the same thing and get paid $200 an hour. So Jeffrey insisted I come after work. And over the next few days, I guess the relationship grew into more. And within a couple weeks, not even a couple weeks maybe, I had quit Mar-a-Lago. There it is. I quit Mar-a-Lago and was working for Jeffrey full time. Okay, let's talk about your job at Mar-a-Lago if we could. Now, I also want you guys to, if you don't believe this Trump thing, Google, um, Google Virginia Roberts' lawyer says Donald Trump was the only person who helped him with information in the criminal case. There's actually a video done by Anomaly where he interviews Virginia Roberts' lawyer. I should have probably put it in here, but I have so much other stuff. So anyway, shit. Hang on, I go back up one. Okay. This is important. I want to go. This is really like I gotta go through this. Okay. Too far. Sorry, guys. All right. I hate that. This thing gets freaking going. All right. So it says I quit Mar-a-Lago. I was working for Jeffrey full time. And then it says, you said your dad was working there. What was his position? It says he was a maintenance supervisor. He like managed the tennis courts and air conditioners, things like that. And then it goes on to say, if he's your dad aware of your current relation public statements you made about Jeffrey. And she's like, of course they're all aware of it. So anyway, and then he says I'm gonna jump around a little bit. All right, so hang on a second. This is where it kind of gets deep. All right. Dad is a lawyer, in case you happen to be reading this. Okay, so at the time, yeah, it says, did you get the job through your dad? Yes, my dad got me the job. Okay, you were only 15 at the time. Were they aware of how old you were at Mar-a-Lago? Of course, definitely. We had to go through extensive, we even had to get drug tested. She's talking about Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago drug tested her. Mar-a-Lago knew she was 15, but she had to go through an extensive whatever hiring process, ID test, so on and so forth. I mean, Mantas, whoever that lady is very strict on employment. Yeah, everybody knew. And it says, okay, was there ever a conversation with Ghislane about how old you were before you were taken to Jeffrey's mansion? She's like, no, she didn't ask me how old I was from the start, but excuse me. When I did get to Jeffrey's mansion, it was discussed how old I was. With whom? And she's like, during the entire hour of what I call the legitimate massage I was giving him. It was cat and mouse games getting information of me to find out who I am and am I a willing participant in these kind of things. Okay. And then it talks about how they were getting her books on massage and offering for her to, to send her to legitimate study at a massage school. And then it goes into their full-time employment. She quit Mar-a-Lago, whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here really quick and remind you. Donald Trump banned Jeffrey Epstein after pedophile tried to take home member's underage daughter. That's not what happened. If you read it, it's a 15-year-old daughter. What happened is she left Mar-a-Lago, quit Mar-a-Lago. The father went to Trump and told him what was going on. That his daughter was now working as some masseuse for Epstein. No. And Trump banned him. And that's the answer to that. So back to this. Hang on a second. Okay. So then it goes on to say, hang on, I'm going to go down to I think it was 10. Yep. I'm going to go back up and talk about Sarah Kellen and Nadia in a minute, but there was one on here I definitely wanted to get to. You guys really should just sit down and read all of these because it's insane just to, I can't explain it, to know that people were getting away with this for so long. It talks about, hang on, that's not it. Jeffrey would send you off. Can you give me any idea as to how many times it happened that Jeffrey would send you off to meet someone, some friend of his at some location outside of Palm Beach? How many times they happened? I'm not too sure. 10 to 15 probably. Okay, and on those occasions, how much time would you spend with one of his friends when you were sent there? Only 2 days. And how were the trips paid for? I would be paid in cash upon my arrival back with Jeffrey, and then it goes on. Hang on, let's see. Influx of girls. It's not what I'm trying to find the one that talks about. So he dressed her up in late. Okay, here we go. Got it. Did Jeffrey ever brag to you about the age of any girls with whom he had relationships, right? And it would say, yes, he did. He did all the time. The worst one I heard from his own mouth was these pretty 12-year-old girls he had flown in for his birthday. It was a surprise birthday gift. Jeffrey bragged afterwards, after he met them, that they were 12-year-olds flown over from France because they were really poor over there and their parents needed money or whatever. And they were absolutely free to stay and flew out. Those were the worst ones. He constantly was bragging about girls' ages and where he got them from and how their past was terrible and their past was and good he was making and how good he was making it for them. Were the 12-year-old girls flown in from France? Where did they come to? Palm Beach. Were they flown in on Jeffrey's plane? No, they were transported by someone else. Wow. They were told to knock if they had to come out. If the crew had to come out, they were told to, to come out as little as possible. So they were hanging out, watching everything. But it doesn't take an idiot to put two and two together to say there's a whole bunch of half-dressed teenagers on board with this old man who's constantly being massaged by them. And he wants me to keep the door shut for what reason? I mean, only they could put that together. But yeah, they knew. It says, did Mr. Epstein ever talk to you about people of power? Oh, and influence owing him favors. He would laugh about it. I never really knew what to take from Jeffrey serious because he was such a funny character at times. You never knew if he was saying what he was saying was true or not. He's got everybody, or he used to say people owed him favors for what he told me. He's got everyone in his pocket, and he would laugh about he helps people for the sole purpose. In the end, they owe him something. That's why I believe he does so many favors in the first place. And then it says, when and how did you become first aware that Mr. Epstein was in trouble with the law? And then it says, I think I was informed by the FBI. Someone called me and started to ask me questions. All right, this is just more about like the first couple people that contacted her about her story. And she had sent pictures into the FBI, and they'd had the pictures of her and the prince for years. Like it's in the FBI notes that was released. And so it's crazy how that happened because they were sitting on all this information that they knew about and had not done anything. Right here, it says, I want to ask you again if any of the cases, it was a laugh though. I remember asking Jeffrey, what's Bill Clinton doing here? This is referring to the island kind of thing. And he laughed it off and said, well, he owes me a favor. He never told me what the favors were. I never knew. I didn't know if he was serious or it was just a joke. Was he here? He told me a long time ago that everyone owes him favors. They're all in each other's pockets. When you say you asked him why is okay, I read you that at the beginning before I started over here. This is that actual legal part. Oh man, I have to put my nose soon. Okay. So okay. If we were taking the sworn testimony from people I'm going to name, and if those people were to tell the truth about what they knew, do you believe that any of the following people would have relevant information about Jeffrey taking advantage of underage girls? So I'll just name a name, and you just tell me yes if they told the truth. I think they have relevant information, or no, I don't think they would, or I don't know whether they would or not. Okay, you understand? She says yes. Okay, first, Les Wexner, owner of Victoria's Secrets. I think he has relevant information, she says, but I don't think he'll tell you the truth. Alan Dershowitz, yes. David Copperfield, don't know. Tommy Mottola, these are names that he's asking her about that have not come up anywhere else until right now. Until these were released, those names have not come up. David Copperfield and Tommy Mottola. Don't know, she says. Prince Andrew, yes, he would have a lot of the truth. Again, I don't know how much he'd be able to help you with, but seeing he's in a lot of trouble himself these days, I think he might. So yeah, I think he might be valuable. I'm not too sure of him. Okay, Virginia, I think that's all I have for you. Let me tell you what I'd like to do. As I told you, we've been recording. It goes back into all that. I don't think anything else is important. That's it. Okay. So that's it for the court papers. Excuse me. Talks about this is Technofy, guys. Go check out this thread. Is so much more than it breaks down every paragraph in that to you. Okay, when I tell you everything is in here, it's the entire wow, you don't even. Okay, so it goes on. There's the picture right here. I'm just asking you if there's a document you know of that has a list of names on it. No, not in front of me, no. Where's the original photograph that that has been widely circulated in the press of you with Prince Andrew? I probably still have it. It's not, hang on. I don't know if I'm not saying I have a photographic memory, but if I look back in the photo, I remember what it says. I believe it was March 2001. Did you leave the photograph ever leave your possession for a while? A, answer, I gave it to the FBI. Question, okay, when did you get it back? Answer, when they took copies of it. Question, when was that? Answer, 2011. Question, when they came to interview you? Answer, yes. So from 2011 until you left Colorado, it was in your possession. Yes, it says. Okay, but in 2011, the FBI took a copy of it and they did not even indict this man until 2019 again. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The FBI knew, they always knew. They had their own copy of even before the victim's 2011 FBI interview. Let's talk about Sarah Kellen, okay? We're going to talk about her real quick. Okay, it was a lot of the same thing that went down on the ground. A lot of times it would be just me and another girl, or Jeffrey and Ghislane and me or Jeffrey and some other girl. Sometimes Emmy, Sarah, Nadia. They got her name in here as Nadia Bajornik. It's not her name anymore. I'm going to show you what she is now, where she is now, and what she's doing now. I need you guys to bear with me for 2 seconds because all this talking has got my snot running. I could edit it out, but I'm Kate 420 and I like to just go natural and leave my bloopers in there. There it is. Okay. For all you Karens. All right, so there'd be a lot of sexual conduct, foreplay. There was a bed in there, so we could basically reenact exactly what was happening in the house. It would start off with a massage, start off with foreplay, sometimes lead to, orgies. Okay, this is a lot of, all right, same thing. Hang on. We already read that one. Now look, this is Sarah Kellen with Ghislane. This is Sarah Kellen with Jeffrey. And let's talk about what Sarah Kellen's doing now with herself. How many of you guys are NASCAR fans? Anybody a NASCAR fan out there? Need to move this. Hold on here. We'll put me over here for now. Are you a NASCAR fan? Why is that doing that? Okay, here we go. It's because I always want to get myself out of the advertisements. There we go. All right, so exclusive. Epstein's fixer, Sarah Kellen, still socializing with the convicted pedophile in 2012, even after avoiding prosecution and changing her name, dyeing her hair brown, and moving to Hawaii, and now married, not dating, married to a NASCAR racer. Sarah Kellen worked as Jeffrey Epstein's fixer, and during that time, he allegedly procured underage girls for him, and she also sexually abused and kept his little black book. She was seen with the billionaire financier February 2012, walking with him in Manhattan in deep conversation, headed to a $77 million townhouse. Kellen, now 40, way too old for Epstein's taste, way too much hair on her. Pardon my, I'm sorry. It just makes me sick talking about this man. I get angry and upset, and to think that all these women aided him in his, and now they have such a great life, right? Sarah Kellen married to a NASCAR driver named Brian Vickers. I hope you're not a fan of Brian Vickers. I don't understand how Brian Vickers isn't getting more attention for being married to a child molester, because that's what she is. She participated in many orgies with underage children. And it goes on to say she also kept his little black book. She was the one that was calling in the girls at home and making their appointments. No. Come on, go back. There we go. She was seen in billionaire there we go. She made the appointments, guys. That was her thing. And then she started popping up. There she is. Look at her. Oh, she's so happy now. So happy. So happy. This is Nadia, guys. This is the other. Remember Nadia Bajornik? No, she's Nadia Marcinkova. And this is her living her fancy socialite life. Marcinkova, who was once a model, became a pilot under Epstein's care, and there are varying reports of her alleged involvement in the crime. She also, with Kellen, was a procurer, and sometimes would participate. She was formerly a model. Now listen, Virginia Gouffre tells a story about this Nadia girl, how basically Epstein got her from bought her from her parents when she was 12. He literally like raised her as a sex slave, sent her off to modeling school, paid for all of every as long as she'd come home and diddle with him. Her parents, I believe, are Ukrainian. Her certification meant she was able to operate nonstop flights to Epstein Island as needed, just like when he got Ghislane her helicopter license. But while some have considered her one of Epstein's many accomplices, she was only questioned in relation to sex trafficking scandal, rather than arrested or convicted herself. She also her name was in the sweetheart agreement as being completely, immunized. Sorry, my dog wants in. Come up and lay on the bed. Get up there. Come on, Carmi. Carmi Jean. Lay down. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. She owns her own company now, but it's still tied to Epstein today. Mars & Co. founded Avaloop. Avaloop is her own company, guys. It's a business flight thing dedicated to marketing growth for other aviation companies. And Nadia developed a thorough understanding of the industry and its demands. Since 2011, she's been sharing her expertise through her consulting work at Avaloop. However, according to Vanity Fair, Avaloop's business address is located in the New York property controlled by Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein. So she can't even survive without still being connected to the Epstein disgusting name. And I said it. Bill Clinton was seen with Jeffrey Epstein on the convicted sex offenders Caribbean island where young girls were allegedly abused, trafficked. Now, if you haven't seen the Netflix documentary, I don't know where you've been asleep at. But that's basically was just also exposed in the paper, in the documents that I just read to you. So we don't need to go over that one again. And last but not least, the judge rips into Ghislane Maxwell as sealed Jeffrey Epstein documents begin to emerge. Maxwell is awaiting trial on federal charges, angered the U.S. District Judge by seeking to once again delay releasing the documents from a 2015 lawsuit. So she tried to delay these, and it pissed the judge off, guys. And so when you piss the judge off, she says, the court is troubled but not surprised that Miss Maxwell has yet again sought to muddy the water as the clock clicked closer to midnight. Presker wrote in a filing denying a request from her lawyers in an emergency phone conference. Earlier documents are included in the names of a number of men. Yep, okay, it goes on. Hotel magnate Tom Pritzker, Hyatt hotel magnate. See, I thought it would Hilton. I don't know, maybe. They're saying it's the hotel magnate Tom Pritzker, late scientist Marvin Zaminsky, modeling scout Jean-Luc Brunel, hedge fund manager Glenn Dubin. Those are all men who, yeah. She did not allege abuse by Trump or at Mar-a-Lago. I told you that too. Ghislane, Gouffre. So anyway, guys, that's a very as fast as 40 minutes is as fast as I could go to get all of the juice that was in this one out. And I'll be back on Monday to bring you part 2. If you're interested again in supporting my channel, hit up my Cash App. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button, share this video. And I know that most of you are not subscribed. You're old subscribers who've been here forever and ever, because I've had the same amount of subscribers for like 3 years. And I'm beginning to think that, like, for every time someone new subscribes, I lose an old one or something, because my number never changes. So please, if you like this video or you're interested, go check out all my other videos and subscribe. I appreciate it. Mwah. It's 420 somewhere. See you later.